What is going on YouTube? You guys are gonna have to excuse me for the bad audio quality. I don't have my camera with me right now. That's because I got a bit of a situation right now. I'm actually in the process of fully converting my Crown Victoria back to a stock intake. As a lot of you guys might remember, I recently did a video on how to install a K&N cold air intake on your Crown Victoria. But today, guys, I got the dreaded wrench light. What is the wrench light? A lot of you guys might be asking. Well, let me show you. Watch closely. Here we go. That right there. That is, there we go again. That is the wrench light right there. Now, there's a couple of reasons why your Crown Victoria will throw that wrench light. I'm actually doing an entirely separate video explaining every single possible reason why that wrench light comes on and a couple of easy fixes and solutions to get rid of that. But one of the reasons why that light comes on is because your electronic throttle control right here starts malfunctioning. This system right here, guys, and that is a direct result of getting a cold air intake, specifically a K&N cold air intake. If you guys get anything from this video, I just want you to get this part right here. If you own a Crown Victoria P71 police interceptor that has an ETC, do not get yourself any cold air intake, guys. Stay completely away from cold air intakes. It's gonna mess up your car, and what's gonna end up happening, the first sign is you're gonna get the wrench light. After that, if you continue driving it, if you do not go back to stock, your car will go into limp mode. That's exactly what happened to this Crown Victoria. Now, it can actually be so bad that your car never recovers from limp mode. I've taken this thing to dealerships. I've had everybody look at this thing. It could not be saved. Now, not all Crown Victorias are cursed to not ever have any cold air intakes. As a matter of fact, if you guys own the civilian version, there's two requirements you want your Crown Victoria to have if you want to do any good modifications to it, including a cold air intake. Number one is you're going to have a civilian model Crown Victoria. And number two, on top of it being a civilian model, you guys want one with a drive-by-wire throttle. What is a drive-by-wire throttle? Well, I'm going to show you guys. Now, usually every Crown Victoria from, I believe it's 1998 to 2005 was drive-by-wire. My 2002 Crown Vic that I just recently got, this is drive-by-wire. I'm gonna do a little comparison shot so you guys can see the difference. You see how this, you push the accelerator and it directly affects the wire. Your mass airflow sensor is not directly connected to your drive-by-wire system. Now, in the case of a 2006 and up Crown Victoria, your throttle is electronically controlled. This whole thing right here is in communication with your mass airflow sensor. These two things are constantly talking to each other. The problem with a lot of cold air intakes, specifically the K&N one, is this inlet right here is actually smaller. The diameter of this circle is actually smaller than the stock tubing. This thing is actually pretty beefy. So what's happening is your mass airflow sensor is reporting an error with all the airflow that's coming in to your intake, and it's communicating it to your ETC. So what's happening is there's an interference going on here, and the things you might experience is a lot of lag when you mash the accelerator, a lot of stuttering. It's gonna even feel like it's misfiring, and in severe cases, you're gonna get what I got. You're gonna get the wrench light of death. After that, it's only a matter of time before your car goes into limp mode. The only time I would even recommend to put any cold air intakes is if you have a civilian version of a Crown Victoria. The reason I say civilian is because the tuning is different from a P71 and a civilian model. The civilian models are tuned differently. The computer is tuned differently. And then on top of that, you want one that has drive-by-wire. If you have a civilian Crown Victoria and it is not drive-by-wire, you might encounter the same issues with a P71. So if you guys still want to have some kind of modification to your Crown Victoria, my recommendation is stick to your stock airbox, your stock intake, if anything, and get yourself a K&N drop-in filter. This isn't K&N, but this is a K&N high flow drop-in intake. You guys can see the difference. So if you must do any kind of modification, the minimum, at least one of these right here. So if you have yourself an 06 and up Crown Victoria, do not touch it. Leave it alone, and you and your Crown Victoria will be happy. I hope this saved a lot of people some trouble. I hope this kind of I hope this puts a final nail in the coffin when it comes to cold air intakes for your Crown Victoria. They look shiny, they sound good, they look good. They are no good for your car. They are no good for your Crown Victoria. You guys are hearing it from me. A lot of old school Crown Vic guys have been preaching this to a lot of people who do not listen. I was one of them. Listen, guys, don't do it.